In a cozy town, nestled between snow-capped hills, stood a small orphanage called Hope Haven. It was a place where laughter filled the rooms, but sometimes, the echo of silence replaced it. The children who lived there were full of dreams and hopes, but they often felt a deep longing for families of their own. Each day was filled with activities like arts and crafts, games in the yard, and bedtime stories told by caring staff. Yet, as the holiday season approached, a shadow of sadness hung in the air. Christmas was especially hard for the children. The smell of fresh cookies and pine trees drifting through the town reminded them of family gatherings they wished to be part of. They watched other kids with their parents, laughing and sharing gifts while they sat quietly in the corner. As Christmas Eve drew near, some children whispered about their hopes for visitors. But deep inside they knew that this year might be just like any other, quiet and lonely. With Christmas lights twinkling outside and snowflakes dancing delicately from the sky, the orphanage prepared for another evening alone. The children gathered in their common room, trying to distract themselves with games and songs. However, as bedtime approached, an unmistakable feeling lingered, an aching wish to belong somewhere truly special. Little did they know that this Christmas would turn out to be one they would never forget. Magic was on its way to find them when they least expected it. As Christmas Eve settled over the town, a gentle blanket of snow covered the ground, creating a serene winter wonderland. The twinkling lights around Hope Haven sparkled against the darkening sky, but inside the orphanage, a hush fell as the children gathered for their evening routine. There was a mixed feeling in the air, excitement for Christmas combined with the familiar weight of loneliness. The kids wore bright smiles, but their eyes told a different story. They exchanged glances, each one silently wishing for a surprise visitor or a warm embrace from someone who cared. They had heard stories about families celebrating together, holiday dinners filled with laughter and joy, the kind of moments they longed for but rarely experienced. Tonight felt eerily quiet as they prepared for bed, knowing that this Christmas might be just another night without visitors. While some children attempted to sing carols to lift their spirits, others sat quietly on the couch by the fire, gazing at the flames dancing in front of them. They made secret wishes on every flicker of light, hoping that somehow someone would remember them. As they whispered their hopes to one another, feeling forgotten and unnoticed began to creep into their hearts. With only candles casting soft shadows across the room and outside snow gently falling, it seemed like another desolate holiday night was on the horizon. Little did they realize that magic was about to break through their clouds of gloom and fill their hearts with joy when they least expected it. In a bustling city far away, Marilyn Monroe, the famous actress known for her bright smile and warm heart, was preparing for a special mission. With a sparkle in her eye and kindness in her soul, she had always felt deeply for children in need. As a child herself, she understood the feeling of longing for love and connection, and every Christmas, she looked for ways to spread joy to those who needed it most. That evening, after finishing filming on her latest movie, Marilyn decided to visit an orphanage. News of Hope Haven had touched her heart during an interview, and she couldn't help but imagine the children's faces lighting up with happiness. With a trunk filled with gifts, dolls, books, and warm blankets, she set out to make this Christmas unforgettable. Marilyn believed that every child deserved to feel special and cherished, especially during the holidays. Her friends often said that when she entered a room, it felt like sunshine had burst through the clouds. She had a knack for bringing laughter and warmth wherever she went. As she drove through the snowy streets toward the orphanage, her excitement bubbled over. She envisioned herself reading stories by the fire, surrounded by smiling children eager to hear tales of adventure and magic. With each turn of the car, she felt more determined to share love and laughter with those who needed it most. Little did she know that this night would change everything for not just the children at Hope Haven but also for herself. As Marilyn Monroe pulled up to Hope Haven, the snow crunched softly under the wheels of her car. The lights of the orphanage twinkled like stars in the night sky, casting a warm glow that seemed to welcome her. With a bright smile and a heart full of excitement, she stepped out, dragging behind her a large trunk overflowing with mystery. The children, still gathered in their common room, could feel an unusual energy fill the air. Curiosity lit their faces as they peered through the window, trying to catch a glimpse of who had arrived. Whispers began to ripple through the group. Who could it be? With each step Marilyn took toward the entrance, the excitement grew like bubbles in a pot about to boil over. They had not expected visitors this Christmas, let alone someone as famous and enchanting as Marilyn Monroe. As she opened the door and stepped inside, her presence filled the room with warmth. The children's eyes widened as they saw the trunk. "What's in there?" one little girl gasped, while another squealed with delight at the sight of a dazzling red dress peeking out. Marilyn knelt down to meet their curious faces, her eyes sparkling as she spoke. "I brought some gifts for all of you," she said playfully. The children erupted into laughter and cheers, their earlier sadness melting away like snow under the sun. They gathered around her and the mysterious trunk, each one eager to discover what surprises awaited them inside. In that moment, hope flickered back to life in their hearts, igniting an evening filled with joy and wonder. As Marilyn knelt before the trunk, the room buzzed with palpable excitement. The children's eyes sparkled with delight, their mouths agape in disbelief as they tried to process the reality of having a superstar right in front of them. "Is that really her?" whispered one boy to another, who simply nodded, unable to contain his grin. With a twinkle in her eye, Marilyn beckoned them closer. "Come and see! I brought special gifts just for you." The moment she opened the trunk, the air filled with gasps of astonishment. Inside were brightly wrapped presents bursting with color, each one a promise of joy and surprise. As she unveiled each gift, the children's laughter rang through the room like sweet music, pushing aside their lingering worries. A little girl stepped forward shyly and asked, "Can I help you?" Marilyn smiled warmly and replied, "Of course. Let's open these together." As they peeled back the wrapping paper, each gift seemed to light up their faces, dolls, books, and games that sparked their imaginations. Each child took turns sharing their excitement and gratitude, feeling cherished in a way they had longed for. Marilyn's heart swelled as she watched their joy. It was as if she was gifting them more than just toys. It was hope and happiness igniting a sense of belonging. They crowded around her, giggling and chatting animatedly, their earlier loneliness forgotten in an instant. In that magical moment, the children felt seen and loved, something they thought might never happen on this Christmas Eve. After the joyful chaos of opening gifts settled down, Marilyn gathered the children around the crackling fire. She could see the twinkle of excitement still dancing in their eyes, and she knew just the way to keep that magic alive. "Who wants to hear a story?" she asked with a playful grin. A chorus of enthusiastic "Me! Me!" erupted from the group, and she felt her heart swell with happiness. With the children snuggled close, she began to read aloud from a beautifully illustrated book she had brought with her. Her voice was soft yet captivating, drawing everyone in as she painted vivid pictures with her words. The room became a cozy haven, the flickering flames casting warm shadows while the outside world faded away. As she narrated tales of brave heroes and enchanting lands, the children leaned in closer, their imaginations igniting with each turn of the page. They laughed at funny characters and gasped at unexpected twists. Marilyn's charm had them hanging on every word, and even the shyest ones found themselves whispering questions or comments, eager to share their thoughts. Marilyn occasionally glanced at their faces, illuminated by the firelight, and felt a sense of purpose wash over her. It was as if she was weaving a magical spell, filling their hearts with wonder and joy. Time slipped away as they journeyed through stories of adventure, courage, and friendship. One by one, the children began to relax, their eyelids growing heavy, lulled into a state of blissful dreaming by Marilyn's soothing voice and the warmth of love surrounding them. As the fire crackled gently, Marilyn glanced around at the children nestled close to her, their faces glowing in the warm light. She loved how each child radiated a unique spark of personality. With a smile, she decided it was time to make individual connections, revealing her fun side. "All right, who's ready for some silly jokes?" she asked, her eyes twinkling. The children erupted in cheers, eager to share their own favorite funny stories. One boy shouted out a classic joke about a chicken crossing the road, and Marilyn clapped her hands in delight. "That's a good one! But can I tell you my favorite? They leaned in closer, hanging on her every word as she told a whimsical story about a bear who loved to dance ballet. Laughter filled the room, and for a moment, worries were forgotten. Marilyn made sure each child felt special, kneeling down to listen intently as they shared their dreams and wishes. She asked one little girl about her favorite color and learned that it was pink. Pink? That's the color of kindness, Marilyn exclaimed, and the girl beamed with pride. Encouraged by Marilyn's laughter, the shyest children gradually warmed up, their giggles punctuating the air like cheerful chimes. As they played games and shared fun interactions, friendships blossomed around the firelight. In those moments of joy, Marilyn created a safe space where they could feel truly seen and cared for, not just as children in an orphanage, but as individuals with dreams and laughter of their own. Together, they built lasting memories that would forever illuminate their hearts. The atmosphere in the orphanage that Christmas Eve was truly magical. Outside, snowflakes danced softly to the ground, creating a pristine blanket that sparkled under the moonlight. Inside, the room glowed warmly with twinkling lights strung around the walls, casting gentle reflections off the children's smiling faces. The flickering flames of the fireplace filled the air with a comforting warmth as they danced and crackled, enhancing the cozy setting. As Marilyn continued sharing stories, laughter and soft whispers mixed with the sound of crackling wood, creating a delightful symphony of joy. The children huddled together in their blankets, eyes wide with wonder as they listened to tales of adventure. Each story brought them closer, weaving connections like threads of light among them. The scent of fresh pine from a nearby Christmas tree mingled with the warmth of hot cocoa prepared earlier in the evening. With cups in hand and marshmallows melting into their drinks, they savored every sip while basking in each other's company. Joy radiated from every corner of the room, wrapping around them like a warm hug. In those moments filled with laughter and shared dreams, time felt suspended. The worries of their past faded away as they created new memories filled with love and acceptance. Each child felt cherished, surrounded by flickering lights and cozy warmth that transformed Hope Haven into a wonderland, a place where magic wasn't just an idea but a reality made possible by Marilyn's kindness and their own joyful spirits. As the evening unfolded, the children began to relax even more, their initial excitement evolving into a soothing sense of comfort. Wrapped in blankets and surrounded by the warmth of friendship, they let the cares of their everyday lives melt away like snowflakes on a sunlit day. The laughter shared over stories and games resonated in their hearts, reminding them what it felt like to belong. Marilyn's enchanting tales whisked them away to far-off lands and adventures, making the worries of the past seem distant and unimportant. Each child leaned against one another, sharing soft smiles and giggles as they connected in ways they hadn't thought possible. Moments of laughter spilled over with joy, weaving a beautiful tapestry of shared happiness that filled the room. The flickering firelight cast gentle shadows around them, creating a cocoon of warmth and security that enveloped their spirits. They no longer whispered wishes for family or longed for the love they felt was absent. Instead, they surrendered to the joy of the present moment. Hot cocoa cups were clinked together in cheerful toasts, celebrating not only Christmas but the gift of being together. As the stories faded into comfortable silence, some children rested their heads on each other's shoulders, feeling safe and cherished. The magic of the evening wrapped around them like a soft blanket, reassuring each one that they were loved and cared for. In those precious moments, worries dissolved, and laughter and cherished memories took their place, marking this Christmas Eve as a night they would forever hold close to their hearts. As the night wore on, the gentle crackle of the fire slowly began to fade, replaced by a comforting silence. The children, wrapped in their blankets and each other's warmth, had found their way into peaceful slumber, their faces glowing softly in the firelight. Marilyn watched over them with a tender smile, her heart swelling with love as she took in the scene before her. The flickering light illuminated their innocent dreams, some with smiles playing on their lips, others with small sighs of contentment. In that moment, she felt an overwhelming sense of peace wash over her. It was as if every laugh shared and every story told had woven a protective blanket around them, shielding them from the world outside. Outside the orphanage, snow continued to fall gently, blanketing the ground in a soft layer of white, but inside, the atmosphere was alive with warmth and joy. Marilyn quietly moved around the room, tucking a loose blanket beneath one child's chin and brushing a stray curl from another's forehead. She whispered goodnight to each sleeping face, feeling grateful for this fleeting yet beautiful experience. As the last log in the fireplace settled into glowing embers, Marilyn sank into a nearby chair, her heart full. She reflected on how just hours ago, the children had been filled with uncertainty and yearning. Now they were enveloped in love and laughter, asleep in their magical haven. With silent gratitude, she understood the true spirit of Christmas, the gift of connection and belonging, and as she closed her eyes, she too surrendered to a feeling of calm happiness that would linger long after this night was over. In the quiet corners of Hope Haven, the staff watched the heartwarming scene unfold with tears glistening in their eyes. They had dedicated their lives to caring for these children, pouring love and effort into making their days brighter, yet nothing could have prepared them for the magic of this evening. As they observed Marilyn Monroe surrounded by the sleeping children, a profound sense of gratitude washed over them. The caretakers exchanged glances filled with unspoken emotions, relief, joy, and a touch of sorrow. They knew how much these children craved connection and affection, especially during the holidays when feelings of loneliness often peaked. Watching the children's faces illuminated by the soft glow of the fire, they felt a wave of warmth. It was as if each child's smile reflected back at them, reminding them of their purpose. Some staff members found themselves recalling the challenges faced throughout the year, the nights spent comforting frightened children or wiping away tears from homesickness. But tonight was different. With every giggle that echoed through the room and every peaceful sigh from a sleeping child, the weight of those struggles began to lift. Marilyn's presence had woven a tapestry of love that wrapped around everyone in that room. The staff felt their hearts swell as they witnessed the transformation unfolding before them, a night filled with laughter, stories, and a profound sense of belonging. They allowed themselves to feel vulnerable, realizing that they were witnesses to something truly special, a moment where hope triumphed over despair, leaving them all with memories that would bring smiles long after Christmas had passed. As the night deepened and the soft sounds of breathing filled the room, a feeling of profound magic lingered in the air. The spirit of Christmas had woven its way into every corner of Hope Haven, leaving behind a tapestry of love and connection that would resonate long after the evening had ended. Marilyn Monroe, with her generous heart and kind soul, had brought an unexpected gift, one that transcended material presents. The gentle snowfall outside seemed to dance in rhythm with the warmth inside, creating a serene backdrop for this heartwarming scene. Each child, now peacefully asleep, carried the joy of that night in their dreams. The laughter they shared, the stories they heard, and the hugs exchanged were moments that would forever be etched in their hearts. For the staff, witnessing this beautiful transformation was a reminder of why they dedicated themselves to these children. They realized that love can come in unexpected ways, like a surprise visit from a star who understood their longing for connection. This Christmas Eve had shown them that even amidst loneliness, joy could blossom. As dawn approached and the first light of day began to break through the windows, the magic of the night remained alive within everyone present. It was a gentle reminder that true happiness often lies in simple acts of kindness and compassion. This Christmas at Hope Haven was not just about gifts or festivities. It was about creating lasting memories and understanding that love has the power to heal and bring people together, no matter how far apart they may feel.